Good morning. Hello, it's Lisa here with Ink and Inspiration. So glad you can join us today. I'd like to do a little mic check if you're online and can hear me okay and the sound is good. If you'd let me know, that would be great. It's been a hot minute since I've been live. So, anyway, excited to share with you today. So, I'm just going to get started here and talk about what we're going to do this morning. So, I am back in Southwest Missouri for a little while, and Jackie and I had come down with a little virus, and but we're both on the rebound and doing a lot better. And I just did not know if I was going to have the voice or be able to come in and do a video to show a premiere this week. So I thought I'll just do a live and not a, it's such a good chance to share some of my retiring favorites from Stampin' Up! That are going away when the supply is sold out. Many things have sold out already, and you can see that link there at the bottom of the screen if you want to check out what's still available, because some of those are discounted. But there's some that I just have used so much and that I enjoy using, and I wanted to share just some simple ideas with you and maybe do a little impromptu crafting as well. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to show my desk, and if you have any questions, just post them in a comment. Please say hello. I'd love to hear from you, and let's get this party started, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, so the annual catalog will be available only through the very beginning of May. And many things, like I said, in that last chance list at that link that's on the screen there, have sold out. But there's some of my favorites that are still available. So we're going to make some just simple but beautiful cards this morning. Hey, Cindy, and just talk about it and look at some other samples using those particular stamp sets. So the first one we're going to work with is the Country Flowers bundle here. So when I saw this, I thought that is so cute. It did have a lot of pieces. You know me and a lot of pieces. It's like I don't want to lose all those little dies. But the ones I used the most were like the cutouts of the plants and the flowers. Excuse my hoarseness. And some of these vessels here that hold those plants. Really pretty and really fun to color. So this is on the last chance list. It's still available, and I'm going to check something for you here. Country Flowers. So I'm looking at my screen in the online store, and it shows the Country Flowers bundle is last chance at $53. Okay. So then if you look at, if you buy the dies and the stamp sets separately, it's cheaper. It's less because the dies by themselves are $31.50, and the last chance photopolymer stamp set, which let me grab that. This is $19.20 if you just like the stamp set, okay? And then the dies are $31.50. So you add that together, and what's that? 40, wait, 50. It's a few dollars less to buy these separately rather than bundle them. So keep that in mind when you're shopping and look for those discounted prices that are marked in pink, okay? So anyway, this is a precious set. I do want to say that I believe this paper here, this wood grain, what's that called? Country Woods Designer Series paper. This is carrying over. I don't think this one is. Okay. This one is, and this is a great versatile paper. But I decided to use a paper that I had not used yet. And it is from the mini catalog with the Friends of the Sea, I think is what it's called. Let me grab it. Leave this here. This one. Yeah, Friends of the Ocean. Friends of the Ocean. And so I decided to use this Millen Mambo because although all of these have like definitely a beachy or sea creatures, okay, on them, the flip side is a generic pattern or print that you can use for anything, which is what I love about our paper. Okay, so this is retiring or is on the last chance list as well, I believe. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and use that. So let me get started. I'm going to get my little pad in here and get this going here. So I've got my pieces all marked, I believe. So let's go through this. So I have a card base of Millen Mambo cut 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I have a 1/2 inch strip of basic white that I'm going to stamp my sentiment on. A 2 3/8 circle punched from basic white. Hey, Kathy. This is, I forgot to mark it, but it's 3/4 of an inch. Let me put that on there for you. 3/4 of an inch by 4. I just have those Post-its. Hang on. I just have to use a different color. They're right in front of my nose. 3/4 of an inch by 4 for this summer splash piece. That Friends of the Ocean paper, 4 by 5 1/4. The Summer Splash layer, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And we're going to layer all these up. And I've done some of the coloring you can see already so that I don't take a lot of time with that. I'm also supposed to have a scrap piece of basic white for me to use for my vessel or my vase. It's like a bucket, really. Okay. So I'm going to grab a piece of basic white scrap. Okay. Because I wanted to show you how I did that, although I already have the punch circle. All right. I'll show you how I originally designed this card. So let's go ahead and get started with it. I can go ahead and layer my pieces here. So on the card front, let me just save these 4 1/4 by 11. I have this 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece. Okay. And really I should punch or die cut something out of the center here so I'm not wasting, and you know what I mean, make the most of this paper. So I'm going to take this hexagon punch and I'm going to punch out a couple of them, I think. Save them for another project. Summer Splash is one of our carrying over in colors. Okay, so I can save that and use it later. And that'll still be our nice layer to go behind. And I didn't trim this one down. That's supposed to be 4 by 5 1/4. Let me get my trimmer. I came in here yesterday evening. I guess I started about 4:30. And I thought, okay, let's see if I can get my creative juices flowing. And so it really, because it had been a while since I'd been in the studio, getting everything unpacked, which everything still is not unpacked, but enough to work. So I need 5 1/4 by 4 here. I got the 4. I just didn't do the 5 1/4. Okay, let's go with this again now. And I thought, I'm going to start creating. I'm going to use some paper. So it took me a while to decide what designer paper I'm going to use. A lot of times that's what I'll start with. I knew the stamp set I was going to use, but I thought, what paper should I pull out? And I thought, I have not even used any of this Friends of the Ocean, and it's going away. And so I thought this will be perfect. So as you see, that layer is going to fit there. And I've got some extra pieces that I can use later. I keep like a little clear cellophane bag just to the right of me on my work surface with like punched pieces and things when I do something like this. And sometimes I'll just grab some of those and start with that when I'm going to create and say, just let me see, I'm going to use this. All right. Now, before I glue this to the front, I want to tie the ribbon on like that. The ribbon isn't going around the inside of the card, which is perfectly fine. Hey, Diane, good morning. But I like it where it's hidden. So I'm using some of this iridescent stripe trim. I believe this is still available. Yes, I checked it out. Okay, so, oh, I forgot something. I got to do something first here. I need to put this little layer here, okay? So I'm going to line that up about a 1/2 inch from the bottom, 3/4 of an inch tall by 4. And I'm going to come down here and glue that across, okay? Oop, I got some glue there in the middle. So let me go ahead and put that on. And the reason I'm doing this now is my ribbon is going to be tied around this piece. So when you put a strip of cardstock behind a sheer piece of ribbon, it kind of gives off that color, okay? And even though it's like just a sheer iridescent, it just ties it all together. Always good to keep some neutral colored ribbon, like this one, some white ribbon if we have it. Um, Also, let's see, linen thread is something I always have on hand because when you need a little fiber or a little bow or just to tie something together, the linen thread will always do. I've been really pleased lately with our selection of like the jute trim that we had that matched our in colors and the twine that we have. All very nice to use on your cards, especially when you're going to mail them and you want to reduce the bulk as much as you can. Okay, so I did a knot there and I'm going to trim this off. And now I am putting the knot over toward the left side of this card front because my main image is going to be over here more toward the right. Okay, and so I'm trying to balance the weight out. Okay, all right, so we've got that. And now I'm just going to set that aside. I could go ahead and glue it on, but I think I'm going to wait a minute. This kind of got crazy. And sometimes I'll go back and trim off some more if I think, oh, that's too long. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Okay, better to cut your ribbon a little long than not to have enough, right? Okay, this is going to go here. I'm going to pull this a little bit, make that a neat little knot. Let me get this off. Let me get this spanner. That's the last chance link. I'm taking it down for now. If somebody needs it, I'll put it back up. All right. So now we have that done, and now we're going to work with our main image. So I went with this little group of flowers. Really, that's my least favorite of these two. I love this one. I love this. I'll show you some samples in a minute, but I haven't used this one as much. And I thought I'm going to give it some love and I'm going to use it today. And I think it's because the flowers are so tiny and not as fun for me to color. Okay. But you can see I've already done it here. And what I did is I used Flirty Flamingo for my pink. I used a mixture of Granny Apple and Lemon Lime Twist for my greens, and then the dark Lemon Lolly for the little flower buds, okay? And then I just die cut that out. And it really does make a pretty little arrangement, but like I said, it wasn't my favorite. Okay. So for this, I have a scrap piece of basic white somewhere, and I have it on my desk. I know it's probably right in front of my nose. Yep. I have this little bucket. Okay. It's this one right here. So I wanted to use the bucket without die cutting it and have a circle background. So what I did, I've got Memento ink because I am going to use Stampin' Blends. Ink that up, and then let's stamp. I've got my heater on in the background, y'all, because we're at that time of year up here where it's cold in the morning. As you can see, I have on a sweater, and then it warms up, and I have to do a wardrobe change and turn the heat off. So I may go run and do that in a minute. Okay, so I'm using Summer Splash. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of outline. I'm going to do this darker, this little border here, little knot. Come down this way. And I'm doing this like it's the shadowed side. Okay. And I'm not going to use the whole bucket, as you'll see in a minute. So I'm getting the dark on this side. And I am no color specialist. I will be the first to tell you that. I just have fun with it and go for it. Now I'm taking light and going back in and want to cover what you think is going to be the top up there. But our flowers are going to cover most of that. I think I'm going to have to turn that heater off or take a layer off. I always layer. I have Cuddle Duds on underneath my sweater. It's getting a little warm. Okay, so you see there how I have this darker over here. Okay, so now this is what I want it to look like this. Okay, but I don't want the whole bucket and I want that circle. So that's a pretty tall arrangement. So I'm going to try to punch my circle and have it come about right there. Let's take this too. And nope, that's not the circle punch. Where is it? Did I not even get it out? 2 3/8 circle punch. And slide that in. Okay, and that is, I need to go in this way because I'm just going to use a partial bucket. I'm going to try to center it. I want part of the handle there, and I'm going to punch. Okay, I don't need that. I'll save that other little bit for something. And then I'm just going to glue that right there. Okay, and so you have an element with the vessel that's holding your flowers, but it's just an alternative to die cutting that pail and using it for the vessel. Okay, let's go ahead and put this, and it's okay if your flowers extend beyond the circle. Okay, so now we're going to play with placement. So here, it's going to go about like this. And my sample, I went a little closer to this edge. I wanted a little more to the left. And this is going to have my sentiment that says best friend ever. And it's going to go right here. Okay, so I want to have enough room beneath. So before you start gluing, position everything. And you know that. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp the sentiment before we glue anything. Excuse me. Need a drink of water. Okay, open this up. I've got the Best Friend Ever stamp inked up. And this 1/2 inch strip that was just in my scrap drawer. And I'm going to stamp it, leaving just a little space on this left end. Good clean stamp. And we're just going to trim this off. So anybody have any good fun plans for the weekend? We're just kind of recouping and okay, I'm playing around with this. Enjoying the sunshine. I'm sure Jackie will go down to the river fishing. Maybe. It's Saturday, and the state park that we border is crowded on Saturday, so he probably won't go. He'll probably wait till tomorrow afternoon. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm moving, most of my weight over here to the right. So this is here on the left. I'm going to put some gems here and then some right here. Okay, let's go ahead and glue. So I'm trying to think. I think I might put Stampin' Dimensionals behind this one. What you think? I'm going to try it. Let's get 3 of them. Okay. This is going to give it a little height and dimension and make it stand out a little bit from that background. So I'm not going to line it all the way to the edge. I'm going to come over just a tad, but it's still more to the right than the left. It's not center. And then same with that. Okay, let's put this on. And let's do this. Oh, Kathy, I was going to ask you if it was pretty there. I bet it is. We've had some nice weather down there in Southeast Texas too. Okay, so now let me grab my gems. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Just had them. Here they are. So see, you could stamp this here like that as well. But if you're not sure how much you need for your project, if you want more of the bucket or not, then you can always stamp and then punch after, okay? It's totally up to you. Okay, let me see. These out of the way. Gems, what I was gonna do. Trying to keep my desk neat so I don't have a hot mess when I get through. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do here. I think I'm gonna use 5. So, I don't know if these are carrying over or not. These in colors are, but I'm not sure if these gems are. Sometimes we get new in color gems. Okay, and then one here. Okay, there we go. See, I put more weight with the 3 gems over here on the left. Let's go ahead and put that, and that makes a pretty card, doesn't it? I wanted to point out something that you may not know is that there is a sympathy sentiment on this in this set, and it's beautiful. And so these would make beautiful sympathy cards. Look at that, with heartfelt sympathy. Okay. Sending love, so lucky to know you. Best friend, flower market. I think that's cute if you have all different plants lined up. Do a card like a landscape card, maybe. Okay, let's do our 4 by 5 1/4 centerpiece for the inside. And let's just put a little, I usually put a strip of, you know, designer paper on the inside, but let's do something a little different this time. I'm taking this little eyelet stamp. I'm going to get my Summer Splash ink back out. Hey, Debbie, how you doing today? Okay, so I'm just going to go one. Kind of do it like I did the gems on the outside of the card, okay? And still give you room to write a message. Just something fun. Add a pop of color on the inside. Okay, let's see. Line that up. And there we have our first card with country flowers that's going away. It's still available this morning, though. I checked. Thank you, Debbie. I'm glad everything's well. All is well with Debbie. Okay, clean this stamp. So I'm going to show you a few more cards that I've made with this stamp set. Get this out of the way here. Grab these. I should have taken these out of the cellophane, but I'll do that. I keep my cards in the Stampin' Up! Cellophane envelope. Hey, oh, hey, Narisa and Alicia. Great. Thanks for watching. Okay, so here's another one using that Country Woods paper behind. And see how I used that hexagon punch to stamp that sentiment on? Here, I stamped the picture, the teapot, on pattern paper and then die cut it. So I didn't have to color it. And look at those flowers where I got the colors from the designer paper. That's how I decided the colors for the flowers. Okay. All right. Next, I have another one that was done with the same idea like I did today with the pale punched, but look at this. Okay, here's this one. I love these colors. Now, the wild wheat, y'all know I love the wild wheat. It's going away. But I used a cardstock Lost Lagoon circle for the back. I die cut this out and then punched it. I glued it onto the circle and onto the cardstock and then punched it so I would get this same look. Okay, but you see it has the white circle here and then the dark circle there. And right here, I just took and cut friend and used just friend. Okay, and I made my own little background here with that little eyelet stamp. So there's another one. Okay, then, so let me get this in here where you can see. Then we have, I believe this one was a swap that I got. I don't know if I made this one. I can't remember. I think I did make it. It looks like my little, okay, so I just die cut a circle out of this embossing folder is in this suite, this eyelet embossing folder. See that pattern? It matches this stamp that I used on the inside of the card here. These are those little die cut flowers. And I just fussy cut around the sending love. I don't know if I did anything on it. Yep. Put a little strip of designer paper at the bottom. And there's a totally different look, right? Same stamp set, but I used mainly the dies for the accent piece. Okay. Then I have another one here. Right here. More of those flowers. I die cut the vessel from the designer paper. Used a circle backing it again to give it some color against that wood grain background. Used the whole best friend ever, just cutting it apart. And on here, I used a strip of designer paper here and then the contrasting print up here from that same Country Woods paper. And then this is the ribbon that went with the set. I don't know if I did the inside of this one. Yep, that's what I usually do. So you see on this one how the ribbon goes around the inside. That's fine, but I could have tied it, like made a layer and gone around it and then glued it on. It's totally up to you, whatever you like to look at. Here's one of my favorite little style cards. I almost did one like this today. And this one is like one of those slim tint cards. And here's that jute twine I was talking about earlier. I cut the stool from the designer paper, cut out the teapot. There's my plant. I have this little eyelet backed rectangle there. And then when you open it, your message goes here so that when you stand up the card, you just see that pretty designer paper. Isn't that neat? Let's see. You're not seeing that. Right here, you just see the designer paper. Okay. So if you don't have this stamp set and you are loving it, I suggest you go to that link that I shared with you earlier and get it while it's still available. And remember the dies, it's a better buy to buy the dies and the stamp set separate, okay? If they're discounted separately, the bundle is not. It's a few dollars cheaper to buy the dies with one number, item number, and the country flowers with the stamp set with the other one, okay? All right, so let's move on to the next stamp set. I'm just gonna pile these up. Let me show you this first card I made. What you see how I decided to move this over a little more? It was like there was too much white space right here. Okay, so that's why I knew when I was going to do today's card, I was going to go ahead and move it over a little bit and balance it out a little more. Okay. All right. Thank you, Narisa. Okay, let's get these out of the way and talk about the next stamp set I'm going to use. Now, my very favorite stamp set, the one that I am most sad about it going away, it's already sold out. And y'all know, y'all seen me use it so many times. I'm going to show it to you in the catalog here. But it's one that I will always, always keep. Let me see if I can find it here. Right here. Y'all know, Courage and Faith. Okay. Beautiful scripture and just I love the narrowness of the font. What I should say, the sentiment there, how it can be put and stamped on a slim piece of white cardstock. You can use border or not. Anyway, it's sold out. It's gone. So I hope you got it if you want it. Narisa, did you get it? Did you get this? I think you did. So, but the one other one I love is this one. You Are Beautiful. Um, Love this, trust in the Lord. And so we're going to make a card today, and then I have some samples to show you too. Okay. All right. That's on page 93 of the catalog that's retiring. Okay. Let me kind of get myself organized here. Okay. Here we go. So here is the You Are Beautiful stamp set. Make today amazing. Great sentiment. You are beautiful, sweet. You are a shining light. Love it. Love it. Good, Narisa. Oh man, that is, I'm so glad you got it. So glad you got it. Okay. All right. Today, for this one, I am using the To Market Designer Series paper. Okay. And that sounds like funny to market with this, but it has some, just like most of our papers, the reverse side has a generic, not generic, an all over print that can be used. It's non-themed. I guess that's the best way I could say it. It's not that, although we have like vegetables and flowers and everything in this designer series paper pack, the reverse side is not themed in the market. It goes with it, but see the vegetables and then you have a floral. And then here's a floral. Oh, both of those are dot. Okay, floral and dot, tomatoes, and a garden green print. So, look at the backs of your papers. And this is what I'm using today, this Blackberry Bliss plaid. All right, there we go. So I once again using 4 1/4 by 11, but I'm doing a landscape card like this. I've already done some of my fussy cutting. Let's see. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So I have decided to go with um, the Misty Moonlight to go with the Blackberry Bliss. Just kind of a different kind of combination, but I saw this piece that I had one already cut, stamped and cut in Misty Moonlight. I thought, I wonder if that would look good. And it does. It's fine. So 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I need to make use of that center as well. Let's see what I'm going to do with that. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's the bottom layer. I think I'm going to take this modern oval punch and punch 2 of these out and make use of the center of that paper that is just going to be your back layer. All right, there's that. This is going to go over top. Again, that's the To Market Designer Series paper in the big catalog. It's going away. Retiring is what we used to call it. Now it's called not the retiring list, last chance list. And then when it's gone, it goes in what we as demonstrators can see as discontinued. That means it's no longer available. Okay. Try not to put glue in the center there. And let's go ahead and line this up. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that is going to go on the front of our 4 1/4 by 11 base. I need to use my bone folder. And that's going to go like that, just that hint of that blue around there. Okay. All right. Bum. Now I have a 2 1/4 by 3 1/2 piece of basic white, and that's what I'm going to use to stamp this scripture, the Proverbs scripture. And so the way I do that, to cut my paper. So I'm taking we don't have this anymore, but I'm going to show you here. So I'll put it on a grid sheet and I'll lay it down, and I want about a 1/4 inch beyond the bottom and beyond the top of that. So that's 1, 2 1/2. Okay. Or 2 1/4. I brought it down some. Anyway, I want it to fit in there, and I don't want too much on the side. So I just measure around, look and see what the measurement is, and then I cut that size cardstock. Okay. All right. So we're going to stamp this in Blackberry Bliss, which I noticed yesterday. I need to re-ink this. This one, when it's juicy, man, because this is a dark ink, isn't it? If you stamp with it, it is dark. Okay, I'm going to line that up on that line on my desktop. And then center that, stamp. Okay, love that. Okay, so this card will probably go in my stash for my card ministry at church. We have a church in Southeast Texas that we go to, and then one here in Missouri as well. And I make cards for both of them, which is a fun thing to do. And then I'm going to layer it with another piece of the Misty Moonlight. This one is 2 3/8 by 3 5/8. Get that out of the way. And we're going to put that over top. And I know I'm going to tie ribbon on this top two layers, just like I did on the other card. So I'm trying to not talk so much so I remember to do that. Okay, here we go. So here, this is going to go here. Oh, okay, but I'm going to put my ribbon on first. And this ribbon has sold out, y'all, but it is beautiful, and I thought I have to use it. Have to use it. So I'm going to tie it around these two layers. I wish I would have bought more because this is one I use quite a bit. And it's a soft ribbon, but it holds its body well, if you know what I mean. It's not like limp. It's, here we go. It's got a little bit of stiffness to it. It's like it has sizing in it. Not starch, sizing. Just to give it a little oomph. Okay, so there's that. Excuse me. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And I know from previous experience that I need to bring this down because before I start gluing anything, what do I need to do? Work the puzzle, right? Okay, let's bring that down. I have this that's going to go here. So this is like a little flourish that's in that stamp set, and I just fussy cut it out. This is doesn't come with any dies, and you can really use this stamp set. It's very pretty, even this stamped on a background without the fussy cutting. So that's going to kind of go like that. So I know now where to glue this sentiment, this scripture verse here. So let me get it on there. Okay, center and close to the top. That's going to go like that, where I don't cover up any of the words and I don't want it extending off of the side of this, okay? I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. I still have some stamping to do and fussy cutting of another little leaf and berry stamp that I want to use at the top. Slide that in, position, and press. Oops. Come on, Lisa. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to bring that down just a little more. See, I can do that because I haven't glued it to the card base yet. Okay, I have a scrap piece of basic white and this berries and leaf. So I'm going to color this with my Stampin' Write markers. But if you don't have Stampin' Write markers, because I want a 2-color stamp, if you don't have these, what I would do is you could take a blender pen and pick up color from your ink pad in color, or you can just stamp it all in one color. Okay. All right. So I'm doing the leaves, the berries in Blackberry Bliss. Okay. Then take my Misty Moonlight and color the leaves and the stem. So I'm using the side of the brush tip side of the marker. The other side is like a little bullet tip. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this full strength. And to get the ink moist again, you kind of blow on the stamp with your breath to moisten the ink. Okay, now I'm going to do it up here. Now I'm thinking, is that too dark? So I'm going to try doing it again, the stamp off version. And I think I like that better. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one out and save that one for another project. Let me get my paper cutting snips. I'll put that inside my case. So like that, when I go to make another project, I can see, oh, I already have this. Let's see how I can use it. So I'm just cutting, getting pretty close. Oops, I can't see. Cut that on. Getting close to the stamped image, but not cutting on it. Okay, go around. It just gives a muted color of the stamp because these are both dark stamps, okay? And we got a pretty dark background going on. So we don't want to overwhelm the sentiment or the scripture verse. Excuse me. Okay. Now, I don't want to do that. I think I'll put that right there. Okay. So go up a little bit with that. I might cut the end of this off so it's not sticking out. There we go. Just a little glue. What time is it? Okay, we can go ahead and put it on our card front. Be sure you check and see that you're opening it correctly. So if, just a suggestion, you know, the cardstock colored paper, well, all of the cardstock, it price will be a price increase in the new catalog. What I did is I went through my stacks of color families or, you know, my favorites. And if I was low, I ordered a new pack at the price, the current price. So that might be something you would want to do if you have some favorite colors that you use a lot, and just get that ordered. Okay. So let me see. I'm going to take this, and I think what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to blow on this again and see if there's still enough ink to stamp an image. Barely there, but it's there. See? Okay, let me see what else I want to do here. I think I'm going to cut a strip of this, 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch by, let's go 4. Okay. Then I am going to line that up and just put a little bit of color there on that left-hand side. Just add a little pop of the color and bring the outside of the card to the inside with your designer paper. I do that probably more than anything else on the insides of my cards. A lot of times you'll see that I don't even stamp a sentiment. on the inside because I don't know how I'm going to use the card. Okay. So you'll open some of my cards and see, just a strip of designer paper. Okay, there we go. Here was the first one. And I decided not to put, oh look, I didn't do the inside of this one. I decided not to put any gems because I had the gold on the ribbon. Okay, let's see. I'm going to cut another strip of it over here off to the side. So I'm going to show you some more cards, and then I'm going to show you another bundle that is leaving that is in low inventory, that if you don't have it, and Arisa, I think you bought it recently, you want to get it. I'm going to do this like this. I forgot to cut this part with my trimmer, so just, it's Thoughtful Wishes, the Thoughtful Journey Suite. The paper is carrying over. Because I love it. Those little, and so is, which one is carrying over from is the Autumn Expressions. Those beautiful autumn papers we had? Y'all, those 6x6, can't beat it. I mean, beautiful for a card. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and so it'll be done. So if you have commented today, I'm going to send a card to someone that I made today, if you commented. And here I am, getting it crooked with the liquid glue. Be forgiving. It's better. So be sure and just say hi or something, right? Okay, so there's that. Let's look at some more cards. Let me put this in here so I don't lose it. So this stamp set I will keep too because of this. Okay, Alicia, gotcha, girl. Okay, here's another one, almost the same color, but with a different, I used Night of Navy on this one. Let's see. And here I used some gold pearls, and look how I used that big flourish. I stamped off, I used Night of Navy, I stamped off and got it lighter, and then stamped it on this, and then stamped full strength Night of Navy for the scripture verse. Okay? And this is full strength on this because it was like a darker, much darker. This paper, I think, is sold out. It's beautiful. Okay. Same verse. See there? All right. Here's another one. A different way to use this paper. And this sentiment, make today amazing. You are a shining light. Okay. I use some twine there. Fussy cut that. This is, what's the name of this paper? What is the name of that paper? I think it's still available. I'm gonna look it up because it bothers me when I can't remember. Oh man. What is that paper? Y'all are gonna love the new catalog because it has like all the papers at the back again, the designer paper. You don't have to hunt through the catalog. Okay, it's gonna bug me. Somebody know what the name of that paper is? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. No, I'm looking, but I'm gonna. Hi. Okay, Pam. Yeah, that's good. Glad to see you. Oh, here it is. Wildly Flowering. This paper is what is on this card. Okay. It's on page 41 of the current catalog. Okay, and then here's one more using the Thoughtful Journey paper. No, it still is available, Nerissa. It's the Courage and Faith that sold out. You Are Beautiful is available. Okay. All right. but it is on the last chance list. I don't think you have it, Narisa, but I'm not sure. I can look if you want me to later, okay? All right. You Are Shining. Use that eyelet embossing folder that from the other Country Flowers suite and put a strip of that beautiful designer paper. I think that's Thoughtful Journey designer series paper. I'm fixing to show you that suite, but yeah, so this is You Are Beautiful, has beautiful sentiments. It's an easy stamp. You don't have to fussy cut anything out if you don't want to. You can see, but it's not hard to fussy cut. And you can see how I use different dies and or just cut the rectangles to fit the sentiment. Okay, Debbie. Yeah, good. All right. Okay, so let me show you my next one. I thought I was going to do something just off the cuff, but my voice is about to go, so I don't want to put y'all through all that. Excuse me. This one, I love it. And I'll probably be sharing something this week on either Facebook, social media, or the blog. Thank you, Pam. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Let me find it in catalog for you. Thoughtful Wishes. This, y'all. Oh my goodness. It is beautiful. Narisa, you got this, right? I think you got this and the paper. Um, Gorgeous paper. This is carrying over. It's in the new catalog. Okay. Thank you. Stamp It Up. Love it. The colors are just beautiful. I think this carried over too. I'm not sure though. You have to check. That's called Thoughtful Designs. Excuse me. Yes, Debbie, they are. Because you can use the dies alone. Okay. And you're going to see some cards. So this is on page 47 of the catalog. Okay. Um, as you can see, I have some of these dies cut. I was telling somebody the other day, a lot of times I will cut out dies in white, okay? And then I'll sponge dauber the color I need for whatever card I'm working on, okay? It's a great idea. This, I may keep this one. It's just gorgeous. You know, I have to sell some of my old stamp sets because to make room for the new. Okay. So let's look at some samples with this. I have quite a few. So here we go. Here's one. I used some of that paper there and I die cut a square out of the designer paper. And here's just a die cut for that. And look what I did here. Okay, so this I die cut from a piece of designer paper. Let me see if I can show you what I have front of this paper because I love it. Thoughtful Journey, like with the back of that. I did the back side because the back side are like, sorry for all the crunching, y'all. See. Oh yeah, like this. Like I'll find a sheet like this that has like a sky with all the colors, and then I'll die cut. Hang on. I'll die cut this so it has all those colors. And look, see it? I cut it in half, cut the die in half after I cut it out, and then I position them to fit the front of the card. Okay? All right. So pretty, y'all. And it's the combination. It's the dies, the stamp set, and the paper that make it awesome. Okay, so there's one. Let's see if I did the inside. Nope, I just left it white. Okay, and here's another one. This one shows you how I use the sponging technique. Thank you, Diane. Thanks, Pam. Right here. All right, let's see what I used here. I used this stamp. This is from a different, oh no, it's right there. You Make Life Better. And then I die cut the dies. Well, of course, die cut the dies. I cut the dies, I cut one of these, and I have to make something with those, y'all. It's just cheaper. And one of these, okay, out of white. And then I sponged them with the colors that match the paper. See there? Okay. Kathy, you like the purple, huh? Okay. And so it gives it that color, just very unique looking. I don't think yep, did my strip of designer paper on the inside. Okay. So there's that. And then here's another one where I use the die. Thank you, Debbie. Let's see if I can get these down here. Again, I've got mine in cellophane, the clear envelopes to protect the cards until I send them. Oop, that kind of stuck. Okay, look at this one. So I just used, several colors of cardstock to match kind of the color theme that I was going to use. So I have this one, that's supposed to be Berry Burst, Highland Heather. I don't know, y'all. But that looks like a pink bubble bath or something. And then there's the white. And then I sponged that on, stamped this in the Berry Burst, and there's the thank you card. Okay. Just another way. You don't have to, you can use the white die. Okay, let's look at this one. I love these little flowers. They're so easy and fun to color. Designer paper. Is that this designer paper? Yes, it is. I think so. And I stamped the sentiment right on the designer paper because it was light enough. Okay. So I don't know if I fit. Yep. There's my little strip of designer paper on the inside. Okay. And two more to show you here. Dearest friend, this one is just the designer paper makes the front of the card. So what's this? I'm measuring. Oh, it's 5.5. 5.5 and by what? 5.25. Anyway, it's just folded so to make the front of the card. Have my sentiment on the front. This is this image. Well, you can't see that. This one colored with Stampin' Blends for the inside. Okay. Tie this around. Pretty bow. All right. And one more. I probably have more. These are just, I was scrambling last night or embossing it. Yes, Debbie. Yes. Okay. Here's another one. I use those, what are those called? Those dies. This is designer paper. It made the little pocket. I've done this on a live before. Okay. I need to do this card again. It's fun. Okay. There it is. That designer paper too. So you can see the colors are just, so pretty. And that's the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. I'm going to look that up and see pricing. Hang on. I'm on my iPad looking it up. It's in low inventory. I know that. Okay, so the bundle is $55.75. Where's the stamp set? Hang on. The stamp set is 25. And where are the dies? 25, 33.30. So I think it's about the same. Okay. You can do the math. It's close. I'm not in my math kind of in the head math kind of girl. So the bundle is still available. The paper is carrying over, but this is not. So it's gorgeous, y'all. It is so pretty. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at what we've made today. There's that one. And this one. You Are Beautiful, Country Flowers. And this is Thoughtful Wishes stamp set and dies, or the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. Okay. So really, really pretty stamp sets to have to your collection. And I want to say, let me come on here so I can see you. Where are you? Huh. Okay. So what I want to say is that a lot of times, you look, we're drawn to the pictures on the stamp set. Don't forget to look at the sentiments. I've gotten to where I look at those first. I look at the picture, the graphics, is what's gonna jump out at you. But the sentiments, sometimes you think, oh, that's what I need. Okay. And that's how I feel about this one. You Are Beautiful. Okay. And Narisa, I'm gonna look it up to see if you have it. And this one that I just showed you the cards on, trying to get it. Let's do this. Okay. It has a thanks. It has a missing you, thinking of you fondly. Dearest friend, I appreciate you. You make life better. All of those are good. Sometimes, you might see a sentiment and you think, I don't know if I'd say that. Okay. But this one, yeah. And then our country flowers with that beautiful picking sentiment. Yeah. The only one on here that I don't think I've used is the flower market, but I've used all the rest of them. Okay. So think about that. If if you need help placing an order, I'll help you with that. We're fixing to change over to a new type of ordering system where, as demonstrators, we are no longer going to be able to enter in customer credit card numbers. You have to do that. So if you don't have an online account, you need to create one. And I think most of my customers do. If not, I have contacted you. But if you go to the online store, and that's the link there, you go in there and you want to create an account. You don't have to store your credit card number in, okay? You don't have to. You just make the account with a good email, because the way Stampin' Rewards are going to come now, you know how you used to have to place a $150 order to earn rewards? Now, with each order of $20 or more, you're going to earn 10% of that order to use on a next order. You can't apply it to the order you're on. You're going to Stampin' Up! Is going to save it and store it for you. I won't be able to see those. You have to keep track of that. Not keep track of them. Stampin' Up! Keeps track of them. And they're good for a year. Okay. So in order to get those rewards, you have to have an online account. You have to have a valid email address, and you have to put that contact, allow contact. Okay. You're not going to be bombarded with things, but that's how Stampin' Up! Is going to contact you about the rewards. They have to have that good email that's valid and that you check. Okay. So if you have any questions about that, let me know and I will try to help you with it. I have a few people I've called that need to do that. So, but I think most of you do have that. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to serve you. And just give me a call or email me, and I can get with you and we can talk and we can get you an online account set up. Okay. All right. I hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Take care. Bye bye.